Wonderful. We are live? Yes, we are. So great. Welcome everyone. Here we are, Saturday again. And today is Saturday 18, October 18. And this is our Unlimited Network Mastermind that we do every week. Perseverance is a powerful quality for us conscious entrepreneurs. And now that I say that, just to highlight that this time together every week is really dedicated to engage with our businesses from a conscious perspective, meaning that opening to higher frequencies and to really start to open our hearts and our minds to the laws of the universe, to how the universe works, and to really start to let go this understanding or consciousness of effort and struggle and making it, having to make it or whatever. So I'm very excited. This is a journey that we took many years ago, and I love that it is a mastery, like anything in life, I believe, and a conscious one. So I acknowledge everyone, and I really say thank you, welcome for being here, because I know there is so many things that we could do, and we choose consciousness. So I really appreciate that. And the more we change our consciousness here individually, the more we change the consciousness of our entire world. So welcome again. And we are working with the book with Abraham Hicks, The Money and the Law of Attraction, learning how to attract wealth, health, and happiness, and really in a conscious way. So if you see it's attracting, it's not making it happen or having to force yourself on that, okay? So it's very powerful. I'm going to talk just 1 minute more, but start to look on that book for page 76. That is where we stop. We are going to start today, okay? Page 76. And last week we were talking a lot about to be very aware that we don't attract or we don't expect, we cannot attract from a place of lack and or fear, you know. So that was very important to discern. I think last week was very beautiful. Excuse me. And we are mastering, if you want, how to use the non-physical energies the way that we call it here. Remember, with the book that we study, The Science of Getting Rich, we were calling it the original substance. It's pretty much the same. It's like the universe, the spirit, the non-physical energy is malleable. It takes the form of our thinking. So when things don't go our way in life, or there is something that you will love and it's not there, we really need to master how to change our attachments with ideas and to start to open up with the possibility of, from a place of allowing, and all of this is what we are mastering here. So I just love to go deeper and deeper in this book, and to learn how to feel good, capital letters, more and more often, appreciative, and all that stuff. So I think we all know the thing is to integrate it, and to live it and to be it. So here we go. I think Doc Fran is ready, and we are going to start on page 76. And after a little reading here, we can open the call and we will share our ideas. So if you have questions, remember that you can always write on the questions, okay? Okay, welcome, Doc Fran. Nice to have you here.
Good morning, everyone. What a pleasure to be here yet again. And I apologize, I was a little bit late because my computer was malfunctioning, but now my wife has generously granted me access to hers. So we can continue on with our quest here this morning, and I'm very excited. So another fabulous week in Florida. We had so much fun this week. Had just the most wonderful experiences. So I'll tell you about those maybe in the discussion period. All right, we're going to continue our study here with attracting money and manifesting abundance. Is there anybody on the call that would like to do that with better success, facility, and ease than maybe we've been doing it up to now? And so
yes.
It looks like I'm in the right group, so I'll continue to read.
Yes.
To reverse a downward spiral, Jerry asked, when I would see people having financial problems, I used to worry about them. I would watch as they spiraled down until they would finally come crashing down in bankruptcy. But then in a very short time, they would have another new boat, a new luxury car, and another beautiful home. In other words, no one I watched seemed to stay down. But why couldn't they stop the downward spiral somewhere earlier along the way and start back upward sooner? Why did so many of them have to go all the way to the bottom before they could start back up again? Abraham responds, the reason for any downward spiral is attention to lack. Very powerful statement there. In their fear that they might lose something, or in their attention to things that they were losing, they were focused upon the lack of what they wanted. And as long as that was their point of attention, only more loss was possible. As they felt guarded or defensive, or they began to justify or rationalize or blame, they were on the lack side of the equation, and only more lack could be their experience. But once they hit bottom, and they were no longer in a place of guardedness because there was nothing else to lose, their attention shifted and their vibration shifted, so their point of attraction shifted. Hitting what they believed to be the bottom caused them to begin to look up. You could say that it forced them to begin telling a different story. Your life experience has caused you to ask for many wonderful things that are making their way into your experience, but your worry or doubt or fear or resentment or blame or jealousy or any number of negative emotions would indicate that the predominant thoughts you were thinking were holding those things away. It would be as if you had drawn them right outside your door, but your door was closed. As you begin to tell a different story of the things you could buy with a $100 bill, as you relax and focus more upon the positive aspects of your life, as you more deliberately choose the better feeling end of the vibrational stick, that door will open and you will be flooded with manifestations of those wanted things and experiences and relationships. A war against war is war. Abraham teaches. Recognizing that you are the creator of your own life experience and learning to deliberately do so by directing your thoughts as an adjustment for most people, because most have long believed that you make things happen through action. Not only have you erroneously believed that action is what makes things happen, but you have also believed that if you apply pressure to unwanted things, they will go away. That is why you have a war against poverty, a war against drugs, a war against AIDS, and a war against terrorism. And although you may believe that pushing against these unwanted things will cause them to leave your experience, that is not how the laws of the universe work. And that is not the proof of your experience, for all of those wars are getting bigger. Attention to the lack of what is wanted causes it to increase and come closer to you, just as focusing upon what is wanted, it causes it to increase and come closer to you. When you relax into your natural well-being, when you make statements such as, I seek abundance and I trust the laws of the universe, I have identified the things that I want, and now I'm going to relax and allow them into my experience, more of what you desire will come. If your financial situation feels like a struggle, you are pushing against your financial well-being further away. But when you begin to feel ease regarding your financial situation, you are then allowing more abundance to flow into your experience. It really is as simple as that. And so when you see others excelling in their in their attraction of money, and you feel negative emotion about it, that is your signal that your current thought is not allowing the abundance that you desire into your experience. When you find yourself critical of the way anyone has attracted or is using money, you are pushing money away from yourself. But when you realize that what others do with money has nothing to do with you, and that your primary work is to think and speak and do what feels good to you, then you will be in alignment not only about the subject of money, but about every important subject in your physical experience. Can we succeed without talent? Jerry asked, what bearing does talent or skill or ability have on bringing abundance or money into our lives? Abraham responds, very little. Those are all action aspects for the most part, and your action is responsible for but a minuscule part of what comes to you. Your thoughts and words are thoughts articulated, are the reason your life unfolds as it does. Jerry Ann asked, so then, would you say that people with no saleable skill or talent could still receive all the financial abundance that they want in their lives? Abraham responds, absolutely, unless in comparing themselves to others and concluding that they have no saleable skill or talent, they feel diminished and therefore defeat their own experience with their own negative expectations. The most valuable skill you could ever develop is the skill of directing your thoughts towards what you want, to be adept at quickly evaluating all situations and quickly coming to the conclusion of what you want most, and then giving your undivided attention to that. There is tremendous skill in directing your own thoughts that will yield results that cannot be compared with results that mere action can provide. Can we get something without giving? Jerry, so how can people get past the belief that they must give $1 worth of something in order to get $1 worth of something? Abraham responds, your knowledge in all things comes only through life experience. But your life experience comes as a result of the thoughts that you are thinking. So even though you may have wanted something for a very long time, if your thoughts have been upon the absence of it, then it cannot come to you. And so from your personal experience, you come to the conclusion that it is not possible or that it is a struggle. In other words, you come to many valid conclusions about things being hard and when you have led a difficult life. It is our desire to help you understand what is really at the heart of that self-created struggle. We want to help you begin from a different premise and understand the laws at the basis of all things. A new understanding of the laws of the universe and a willingness to begin telling a different story will give you different results, and those different results will then give you different beliefs or knowledge. You are the one and the only one who can evaluate your effectiveness. No one else has the ability to discern where you stand relative to where you are wanting to be. And nobody else can decide where you should be. Only you. They want to win the lottery fortune. Jerry asks, many people are hoping for some major financial windfall to come to them to free them from debt or to release them from working at something they don't want to work at in order to receive money. The thing I hear them say most often is that they want to win the lottery, where they get their abundance in exchange for someone else losing theirs. Abraham responds, if their expectation were in a place that would allow it, then that could be a way for money to come to them. But most know the odds against that, so that their expectation for winning the lottery is not a powerful place either. Jerry says, so how does hoping to win relate to expecting to win? Abraham responds, just as hoping is more productive than doubting, expecting is much more productive than hoping. Then how could people begin to expect something that their life experience hasn't yet shown them? How can you expect something that you haven't experienced? Abraham responds, you do not have to have money to attract money, but you cannot feel poor and attract money. The key is you have to find ways of improving the way you feel right from where you stand before things can begin to change. By softening your attention to the things that are going wrong, and by beginning to tell stories that lean more in the direction of what you want instead of in the direction of what you have got, your vibration will shift, your point of attraction will shift, and you will get different results. In short time, because of the different results you are then getting, you will then have beliefs or knowledge of abundance that will easily perpetuate more of the same. People often say the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and that is why. Look for reasons to feel good. Identify what you want and hold your thoughts in a place that feels good. Living abundantly is not magic. Abraham's trains. As we explained from our perspective, the abundant nature of your universe and the potential for abundance that is always available to you We understand that our knowledge does not become your knowledge only because you have read our words. If we were to ask you to trust what we say or to just try to understand, you cannot just adopt our understanding as your own, for it is only your own life experience that brings knowledge to you. The beliefs that you hold as a result of your own experience are very strong, and we understand that you cannot release them immediately and replace them with others, even though we know there are many more productive beliefs that you could foster. But there is something that you can begin today that will make a profound difference in the way your life unfolds that does not require an immediate releasing of the beliefs that you currently hold. Start telling a more positive, better feeling story about your life and the things that are important to you. Do not write your story like a factual documentary, weighing all the pros and cons of your experience, but instead tell the uplifting, fanciful, magical story of the wonder of your own life and watch what happens. It will feel like magic as your life begins to transform right before your eyes. But it is not magic. It is by the power of the law of the universe and your deliberate alignment with those laws. Trading freedom for money? Jerry asks. Well, I know we titled this book Money and the Law of Attraction, but it's really more about attracting abundance in all areas of our life. Since my childhood, we in the U.S. have been fighting strongly against crime, and there's much more crime now than when I was a kid. I read recently that our nation has a higher percentage of its population in prisons than any other country in the free world. We've been fighting against illness, and yet there are more hospitals and more sick people than ever before. There's so much more physical suffering in this nation, percentage-wise now, than I've ever seen. We've been pushing against warfare in our world for world peace, and yet it seems a short time ago that everyone was raving, isn't it wonderful, as the Berlin Wall came down, that we're finally in peace. But we hardly took 4 breaths until we were back in another series of wars, and now we're even putting more walls up around this nation. Also, I hear so much concern about child abuse and the mistreating of other people, and yet the more I hear of our pushing against child abuse, the more child abuse I hear of. It seems like everything we're trying to do to stop what we don't want isn't working for us. But the area where this nation seems to continue to go in a more positive direction is that of abundance. We have so much food and money that we're able to give the world over from our excess abundance. And I see many more material things in the hands of more people in this country than during my earlier years. So there have been some major positive changes here. But so many people in their quest for more financial abundance seem to be losing quite a bit of their personal freedom as a trade-off for the money. It seems that there are those who seem to have a lot of free time, but they have so little money that they don't enjoy their time. And then there are those with more money but little time to enjoy the money. It's rare that I meet someone who has both an abundant flow of money combined with the time to really enjoy it. Abraham, would you please comment on your perspective of my perceptions? Abraham responds, whether you are focused upon the lack of money or the lack of time, you're still focused upon the lack of something you want, and therefore holding yourself in resistance to the things you really want. Whether your negative emotion is because of your feeling of shortage of time or whether it's because of your feeling of shortage of money, you are still feeling negative emotion, and you are still in a state of resistance, and therefore you are holding away what you really want. As you feel that you do not have enough time to do all of the things you need or want to do, your attention to lack negatively impacts you much more than you realize. Negatively, there we go, negatively impacts you much more than you realize. A feeling of being overwhelmed is your indicator that you are denying yourself access to ideas, rendezvous, conditions, and all manner of cooperation that could assist you if you were not disallowing them. It's an uncomfortable cycle where you feel a shortage of time. You focus upon your overloaded schedule, you feel overwhelmed, and in all of that, you offer a vibration that makes improvement impossible. You have to begin telling a different story, for you cannot continue to comment on how much you have to do without holding assistance away. There is a cooperative universe at your fingertips, ready and able to help you in more ways than you can begin to imagine, but you deny yourself that benefit as you continue to complain about too much to do. As you feel that you do not have enough money, your attention to the lack of money disallows the avenues that could bring you more. But you cannot look at the opposite of what you want and get what you want. You have to begin telling a different story. You have to find a way to create a feeling of abundance, before abundance can come. As you begin to feel freer regarding the expenditure of time and money, doors will open. People will come to assist you. Refreshing and productive ideas will occur to you, and circumstances and events will unfold. As you change the way you feel, you access the energy that creates worlds. It is there for your ready access at all times. Feeling negative with respect to money or cancer? Jerry asks, so what's the difference between having a negative feeling about money and therefore you don't get money and saying, I don't want cancer, but you do get cancer? Abraham responds, here's the way it works. You get the essence of what you think about. And so, as you are thinking about the lack of health, you are getting the lack of health. As you are thinking about the lack of money, you're getting the lack of money. You can tell by the way you feel as you are offering your thought whether you are attracting the positive or the negative aspects of the subject. The universe does not hear no. When you are saying, no, I do not want illness, your attention to the subject of illness is saying, yes, come unto me, this thing I do not want. Anything you are giving your attention to is an invitation to the essence of it. When you are saying, I want money, but it will not come, your attention to its absence is the same as saying, come to me, absence of money, which I do not want. When you are thinking about money in the way that will make it come to you, you always feel good. When you are thinking of money in the way that keeps it from coming to you, you will always feel bad. That is how you know the difference. So you are asking, if I can get cancer by focusing upon the lack of health, then why couldn't I get more money by focusing on the lack of it? The receiving of money, which you do want, is the same of receiving of health, which you do want. The receiving of cancer, which you do not want, is the same as receiving of no money, which you do not want. Just to make sure that whatever thoughts you are thinking or whatever words you are speaking evoke from you positive emotion. And then you will be in the mode of attracting what you do want. When negative emotion is present, you are in the mode of attracting something that you do not want. He didn't struggle for money. The following is an example of an audience member's question at an Abraham Hicks workshop. The question: I have a friend who has basically financially supported her former husband for about 10 years. She worked hard and took care of him for all of that time, often struggling to earn enough money to support them. Eventually, she grew tired of his unwillingness to contribute financially, and they separated. Her husband never showed any evidence that money was important to him, but he has now just inherited over $1 million, and now he will not share his money with his ex-wife, my friend, who supported him for all those years. It doesn't seem fair that she cared about money and worked hard for it and received so little, while he barely worked, didn't seem to care about money, and has now inherited over $1 million. How can this be? Abraham responds, understanding the law of attraction as we do, this story makes perfect sense. This woman worked hard, felt resentment, focused upon lack, and the universe matched those feelings precisely. Her husband felt ease, refused to feel guilty, expected things to come to him easily, and the universe matched those feelings precisely. Many believe that they must work hard, struggle, pay a price, and feel pain, and that they will then be rewarded for their struggle. But that is not consistent with the laws of the universe. You cannot find a happy ending to an unhappy journey. That defies law. There is not a shred of evidence to the contrary of the law of attraction. And you had the benefit of knowing that these two people, seeing their attitudes and watching their results. One struggling, working very hard, doing what society has taught her, and not getting what she wants. the other refusing to struggle, insisting on a feeling of ease, and being the recipient of the resources that support more ease. Many would say, well, it might be consistent with the laws of the universe, but it's still not right. But we want you to know that when you get in sync with a powerful law, you will then understand the absolute justice of it. Since you have control over what you offer, what could be more just than the universe giving you exactly what you offer vibrationally? What could be more just than the powerful law of attraction responding equally to everyone who offers a vibration? Once you gain control over the thoughts you think, your sense of injustice will subside and will be replaced with the exuberance for life and the zest to create what you were born with. Let everything in the universe be an example to you of the way the law of the universe works. If you believe that you must work hard in order to deserve the money that comes to you, then money cannot come to you unless you do hard work. But the money that comes in response to physical action is very small in comparison with what comes through the alignment of thought. Surely you have noticed the enormous disparity between some people who apply tremendous action for little return when you see others seemingly offering very little action for an enormous return. We want you to understand that the disparity exists only in the comparison of the action they are offering. But there is no disparity or injustice relative to the alignment of energy within them. Financial success or any other kind of success does not require hard work or action, but it does require alignment of thought. You simply cannot offer negative thought about things that you desire and then make up for it with action or hard work. When you learn to direct your own thoughts, you will discover the true leverage of energy alignment. Most of you are much closer to a financial fortune than you ever have allowed yourself to purely desire, because in the thought that it might come, you right away begin thinking of how disappointed you will be if it does not come in. And so, in your lackful thought, you do not allow yourself to desire or to expect anything magnificent in terms of money. And that is the reason why, for the most part, you are living rather mediocre financial experiences. You are right when you think money isn't everything. You certainly do not need money to have joy in your experience. But in your society, where so much of what you live is tied to money in some way, most of you associate money with freedom. And since freedom is a basic tenet of your being, then coming into alignment with money will help you establish a balanced footing that will be of value to you in all other aspects of your experience. Wow. I think we'll stop right there today. And good morning, Candace. I see that you've joined us, so welcome. And Monica, I'll turn the call over to you.
Thank you so much, Doc Frank. It's like woohoo! And yes, welcome Candace, and welcome everybody in the other side too. I'm sure there is some people there seeing this live event that we have here, our Unlimited Narrow Mastermind. But wow, I'm like, oh, it's so simple, and I know it, you know. And it's like I keep noticing and becoming aware, you know, that I have many details, you know, that can hold me back in my own thinking. So I'm so happy to highlight them and to bring more awareness and to see that it's just a play. You know, I get more and more this sense that, gosh, we just need to play, you know, play. So I'm very happy. Thank you so much, Fran, for the reading here. And I mean, I have so many things, but I would like to hear other people because I didn't have the time to think about them and to write here. But, you know, like to really, it's kind of course, you cannot have, I read here, like, find a happy ending to an unhappy journey is impossible, you know. So really to learn how to be happy and to enjoy and be grateful. And I mean, I love so many things that we were reading here, like so important of them, you know, to really allow us to go to the core of not engaging from lack, you know. It's so powerful. So if you have anything to say, please open the microphone. And if not, I keep looking here, like things that I really highlight is like, woohoo, you know, this is something that can help us to go. Arne, yes, once again, I need to mute.
Yes, hi there. Thank you, Doc Fran and Monica and everybody. Nice to see you here. It's so exciting here to be on these calls and listening to this material. For it makes it's just so real, so it makes so much sense. And you know, if I have something in front of me, and that's that's what I see. Now there can be a lot of things around and behind what's in front of me, but I won't see it. So what I focus on, it's impossible for me to see something else. I mean, it makes so much logical sense to me. Like it's impossible to see something that you're not looking at. You have to look at it in order to see it. And that's all what Abraham Hicks is talking about here. What you have to tell yourself the story that you want to see. Now that's not so easy always. Monica is really good at that, much better than me. But I'm really good at quietly visualizing. Like for example, now I easily see myself sitting in the cockpit of my new boat. That takes me no effort to do that. But I don't speak it out, but I feel it. I notice it. But she's more when I bitch, she says, "Hey, what about another story here?" So she's better to catch that on. And I remember we had a breakdown, or I more than Monica, in 2007 and 2008. We went from years and decades of real success and abundance into a crash to nothing. I spent several years not making 1 cent, and I got into fear. I got into, and then all the surrounding around me agreed with it. Oh, it's the economy, and it's this, and it's that, and I was so much into fear. I did everything I could with struggle. I tried different jobs because supposedly there was no jobs. So I tried being a taxi driver. I tried a computer, working with that, all different things. It made no money. Even though I worked, I made no money. So I gave up working back then too, and I was stuck in that, I think 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 years in making nothing. And now I'm out of that. But I can see what I hear from today. I was really in that energy of the fear of lack. I was in that focus, and at that point, I did not have the. I think I had this knowledge, but it was not in my mind at that time whatsoever. So I can see that my focus it's so important what I focus on, and we've been studying the book The Science of Getting Rich, and it's saying exactly like this: the difference between successful people and non-successful people is they're telling themselves a different story. They are looking at things in a different way. So it also says that the most difficult thing for us humans to do is not working hard. It's not creating and trying all these things. The hardest thing a human have, the hardest path for a human, is to consciously choose what you want to think, to get into your own mind and to choose that, what you want to see out there. And myself, sometimes I even see what I think that I shouldn't be thinking, but it's hard. The habit, it's like glue in stuckness. Yes, I know, but I'm still clinging on some level to that other place that I don't want. But it's not that easy always to get out of that. Um, uh, I just learned something here also, that we've been talking about that when success comes, or especially Monica to me, hold the energy. Now success is coming. Don't do success sabotage. Hold the energy. You know, oh, I just harness the energy. Uh, I sold my house, or something good happened here. Well, harness the energy. Well, what does that mean? You know, it really, in a little bit I can understand it, but not exactly. And but now, if I interpret it in the way that Abraham Hicks is talking, they're talking about, which makes easy sense for me. Harness the energy. Instead of harness the energy, don't get distracted from what you are doing, because what you're doing is creating the results that you are getting, which is what you want because it's success. Now, don't get distracted and start celebrating and forget what you are actually doing that's creating the success. So stop, stay with what's working. And it's kind of saying the same thing, but through my personal logical mind, I can understand that. Yeah, if I stop thinking about what I'm thinking about, that's creating the success. Yeah, I'm not going to continue on the same path, and that gets me to want to stay more focused on what. When I see that success, stay in that energy, stay in that thought pattern. So that really caught me a little bit better. One other topic, I have several others, but one more. Abraham Hicks brought up the topic of, do we need to give to get? And that's been a struggle for me for 30 years in the topic of tithing. Tithing, if you want to be rich, you gotta tithe. You know, right? That never sat right with me. I could never get that. And I love to. I feel good when I can give to my teachers. I really like to do that. But I have to tithe in order to get abundance. I could never get that. So it's not that we need to give in order to get. We need to get into the energy of the flow of the abundance. We need to become. We need to wake up in the morning and not know any other life than the success that we want, which is then what we have. It's not a future thing. It's not that something I'm going to. It's not something I'm getting to. It's something I am embodying. I'm living it. I'm experiencing it. And when I'm experiencing it, even before it is apparent, when I experience it and I become it, I am that I am, I become it, then it will show up without any breakage or any. It's not going to be surprising. It's not going to be, oh, you changed now. No, the change was done a long time ago. So what are you talking about? There's no difference. Then we have it. Okay, that's it me for now.
Wow. Wow, Arne, thank you. I mean, I just love your stubbornness, I will say, that you are so aware when you say, like it's hard to change, our minds and to really think on what we want because we are so attached and identified with being right, with what we have here. So I love that you can realize that. And me too, I think we are powerful beings, and one of the downsides is that we really, get attached to what we think and what we know, what we think we know here, So I do love your sharing. It's so powerful. One of the things that you remind me here that I would like to share is that when we lost everything, I remember, I totally understand the downhill here after reading the Abraham here, because it's exactly what happened. You start with a little fear, and then that grows, and then more done, and then oh my gosh, and oh my gosh, that's what happened. But something that I discovered that I will always be grateful for, what life, capital letters, is, okay, is that we arrive to the 0, 0, 0 point, okay, and life keeps going. Life keeps going. And one thing that I realized, and I said to my friends, I titled a book that I never finished, that was titled, The Benefits of Losing It All, or the gift of losing all. And I never finished it because I don't think I'm a good writer. I'm a better speaker than a writer. But I was in such a gratitude because what I discovered is the trust, capital letters. For no reason, there is no reason here to trust, but I was made of some trust. And I remember We had a very good friend, very wealthy, and at one point we asked for money to this guy to survive. We were in this survival mood, you know, and oh my gosh, whatever. And the thing is, the guy said no. You know, I'm not going to give you any money. You are going to come out from this. I'm very sure, you know. And I, at that now, I mean, you know, I feel grateful, and that is not today. I mean, I already felt that before when I felt that trust. But I remember the shock, you know, of the guy that has the money that could give me and whatever. He had this knowledge probably in his being, you know, and didn't give us the money. So I felt very hurt, very scared. So I went to the bottom because that. And thanks to the bottom, I came out, or we are coming up with a solid foundation of being one with life, capital L, that is safe, is benevolent, you know. And you know, if this fell off, something else will come up. I'm much more open today, or less afraid today than I was, you know, 5 years ago when we lost everything, you know. So there is something here, you know, about engaging with other people, let's say the poor people, when Jerry was talking in the beginning, you know, the poor people, how you engage with them, you know, like what do you do with them? It's very beautiful to see, you know, like you can help, but money is not the help, you know. The help is consciousness. The help is to relax and to master, of course, what we are learning here, like you said very well, Arne. We knew it. It's so funny. We taught this for years, you know. But from knowing it mentally to being it, that is what you are inspiring me for sure, Arne. It is a journey, you know, so let's enjoy. Thank you so much, Arne. I really love to have that opportunity, so thank you. Who else would love to open the microphone here? I love to hear these powerful journeys that we are in and how we are mastering, you know, our power of choice and focus and intention. Anyone would like to say anything? Yes, Helio, welcome, welcome.
But I think it's very powerful what we read today. And as I was talking before to you, Monica, and to Arne, to me, what calls me most the attention of everything that's been read is, you know, we're breaking the concepts that we have of action, which action, you know, is so much geared with the executives and in the business world, go, 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 and non-stop. And here it's like, no, it's another way to understand that. It's a different understanding. Not that you don't have to do anything, but not from a place of lack. And 90% or 95% of us, when we get into this action, is in the place of lack. So it's a lot of humility and being humble when you see the universe through these lines showing us. And like, well, Arne, you were talking about thriving. Also for me, it's like, I give God this amount of money and then I get back, or this whole concept. It's not that I'm against the concept, but here also it's nothing to do with that. Just not being in the place of lack, not being in that moment. Even the story that is being shared today and was read, that you have to, you know, to go down the spiral to go up again. Maybe some people need that, or for me too. I mean, I've been through that, a similar experience, but some people are millionaires all the time, and they have millions and millions, and they don't, you know, they just keep on that vibration for some reason. And it's not for me to judge that or to question that, but it's just to understand that, you know, there's some vibration that does not allow the lack and opens my channels to abundance. You know, it's like such an exercise in having the channels open, you know, to that energy of allowing the abundance, because it's definitely, you know, the universe is loving us. It's a loving universe. It's not a universe that is against us. And I think true wealth for me is so real, you know, not only in money but in health, in any sense, just wants to be with me. You know, it's loving me even more that I can, you know, it's really like a love affair. If I allow, if I am open, if I receive, I'm not in this constant place of disallowing, of, you know, oh my God, you know, yes, but then the fear comes, the, you know, the lacking. It's so easy to get into that because the whole world is geared in that. And to me, that's very powerful too. Just getting out of all our situations And here's a global perspective. In these lines also, there's a whole energy in the world that is into lack. That's the reason for, when Dr. Fran read, the wars, and now right now we're having the Middle East, this whole situation, and the whole attention is that, and that goes against the law of attraction. That's why there's more and more of that, and more of many more things. And instead of, I think it's not only in our own financial story, but the whole story of the planet is just a collective effort to be not in a place of lack. To me, that's so essential, so important. And, and once we realize that, it's like everything opens up for us, in our own stories, in our private stories. And, but I think it's very much of a collective problem, in the world right now, for the whole world to collectively understand that we cannot go on in this place of collective lack, internal lack. And it starts with each one of us. Definitely starts with me. And just to wrap up, what you said, Arne, is so right. I mean, I've read this book other times, and I didn't get, I got something probably, but never like now. Probably because I've been through this situation of, that I've been through all this experience that you also, Monica, were talking about. Maybe for some people it's not necessary to go to that 0 point. Some people do. Some, whatever is our experience, I don't think it's relevant, but just for having us in our experience to be in a place to understand in a real deep way what not being in lack means. It's all worth it, because then it's like we have touched the gold. And this is for me the whole point of this exercise, that now we can, if we allow it and we don't be in a place of lack, we can touch the gold. Finally, we definitely can touch the gold.
Yes, absolutely, Thelio, absolutely. And yes, I love the way that you say it now, and that Abraham is explaining in the book here, like life teaches through experience, so you cannot go through life learning these lessons without the experience of it. That's what I believe myself, in the sense that the fear goes away by realizing that it's not such a thing. And sometimes you have to experience it to see it, Like in my case, like to lose everything that I, was a super unconscious fear until became conscious, and was challenging to go through, because it was a memory of my childhood that I went through several moments in my life when my whole lifestyle disappeared, like poof, from one day to the next, and was very, very painful. And I didn't know how to manage with, 11 years old. I was very I was hurt. So what I'm saying if I have that unconscious experience, and I cannot, this is going to work for me in some way, it's going to be a threaten, like it's there unconscious always, in my back. So I'm very happy that could be on my presence, and I was conscious about, and I could start to learn how to relate it in a different way from mentally, instead of mentally, like you were saying right now, Celio, collectively, what people were saying when I was 11, oh, poor, poor you, oh my God, and then you keep going down, So thank you. I think I really appreciate, that to experience life fully is life lowercase becomes life capital, letters. It's the way I like to say it, becomes completely sacred and has the wisdom inside. We have to be courageous enough, to go for it. So I see you open, Candace, and Celio, you want to say something more?
Yes, and I think it takes extreme courage, Monica, to face that aspect of life. It's not for everybody. I think this ride is not for everybody, It's not about becoming a millionaire or having a lot of money. It's about having the experience that we can be a channel for that experience of, in this context of this book that we're reading, of allowing, of not being in the lack. But it's definitely not for everybody, because it's extremely challenging, and most people cannot pass the test. I am absolutely convinced of that, Doesn't mean that I have passed the test, but I know it's not a right for everybody.
Yes, thank you, Celio. And I see Candace. Welcome, honey. Hi. Welcome.
Hi, thanks. Gosh, 0 point. Been there, done that, more than once, and have thought about. I was thinking about a couple of things related to that. One, is how I've done it more than once, but from this perspective today, I can see how I chose that for myself. How I chose that as something to learn from and something to pick up from, and it's also something that doesn't last very long in relationship to a life. In relationship, sometimes, Arnie, you mentioned a few years. I can relate to that too. Um, but I think it has to do, the fact that it happened more than once for me has to do with my determination to master the whole thought of lack, or master the whole thought of prosperity. And did I have to understand the other side of it? I guess I did, because I kept creating it. And just learning to love myself there as well as here, as well as who I'll be tomorrow. That love is constant. And going back and letting that be clean all the way, the clean thread that runs through my history is that I loved me, all of that as well. But what I was thinking about for today's reading, Monica, you started off with saying how simple this is, how very simple it is. And it is, and yet it takes real self-examination. It takes real listening and a self-observation and awareness of subtlety, of that sneaky little side of me that says, oh, I've got to, that'll say the story right, and then back here some little thought will be going, meh, 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 meh. Or something, some aspect. It takes becoming more aware at a much deeper level of myself, so that my willingness to be prosperous, my willingness to speak the positive story, my willingness to be clean in my intentions and in full integrity with myself takes, honestly, right now, it's taking everything I've got in terms of attention, willingness, desire, passion, eagerness, joy. Everything I pick up, it's like reinvesting in your own business, but your business is you, your own precious heart and head of becoming that better person I want to be, or that person just becoming, who knows if it's better or not, it's just whatever's next. But I want to live in joy. And another thing is that's really important that came up is that I'm experiencing needing to explain myself, or feeling, well, maybe I don't need to, but anyway, the experience has been wanting others to jump on the happy bandwagon with me. And they like the idea, but they're still where they are. And it's not my job to push them along or pull them along or bear them in any way as anything other than somebody I enjoy being with. But it also makes me aware that I want to be, I was living in Las Vegas. There are a bunch of Abraham workshops. Not workshops, they're called meetups, where people get together and join, and they're really Abraham workshops in the sense that you've got to be abundant to go, because they're like $40 or $50 to go each time, something like that. But not that that's impossible, but it's for people who are already at a level who are really manifesting. So my thought, to complete that thought, is that I'd like to be around more of what we're doing here, where we're in agreement about, and our conversation is about, we've already made it to a certain level of understanding, and continuing from there as we continue to speak and grow and learn together. Gosh. So thanks for that. I love it.
Yes.
That's good for me today.
Thank you, Candace.
Think.
You remind me, and I want to acknowledge Monica, I think, because I remember when I decided, and everything all this journey came in when I decided to become financially free. that I didn't really know the concept, what that meant, but I had a call inside, you know, like to really, really master, you know, creation and all that stuff. And you know how many people, Candace, I encounter where the conversation was going on. I suppose that's my consciousness, you know, what's going on about, you know, why are you talking about money? I mean, what we want is to don't have money, you know, let's go back to the past and we exchange eggs, you know, for a massage and a massage for this and all that stuff, you know. And so I felt very alone, you know, in my own journey at that time. And today, that's what I want to acknowledge me a little bit, you know, it's like, I don't care what you want about money. I do love money. I love it, love it, love it. I appreciate it. I use it as a sacred energy that helps me to really express the things that I love and that I want to do. And so it's almost like today I am much more whole and complete in my individuality, that I allow myself to think what I want to think, you know, than in the past that I needed, you know, someone, you know, please, someone can, you know, can come. So I totally understand what you're saying right now. And the joy of this mastermind is like, that's why, you know, we get together here, because we are all with the same intention, you know, to really master our minds, in this case, in prosperity and abundance and joy and happiness and all included, right? So it's very powerful to see that not everybody has the same journey, but my journey, I know what my journey is, and today I feel much more confident and comfortable, you know, wanting that, allowing it, practicing it, you know. And if you don't like it, good for you, you know, but I love it here in this side, you know, and I focus on what I want. So thank you for that reminder, Candace, because it is a choice. It is a powerful choice, you know, and you have these other extremes, the one that they don't have the call to master that. They will defend their position, you know, and that's okay, that you want to be, that's wonderful. I know where I'm going, you know, and I know who I am. That is today much stronger in me, you know, than, of course, last year or 5 years ago, you know. So thank you, because that's empowering. Thank you very much, Candace. And I don't know, but I see so beautiful, Doc Fran, today. You look incredible in this picture. Maybe you are ready to share. Welcome.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. You know, the hormones are finally kicking in, and I do look a whole lot better on the, you know, my alter ego image there. Anyway, I was loving. I had a lot of things I was going to say, because so many things Arnie said, so many things Celio, so many things every one of you said, just peaked stories in my mind. But the overwhelming thought that continued to impinge on me is a simple thing. It really seems to me that whenever we have a thought about anything, that we are automatically coming from a lack of the thing that we say or think we want. And so, to cut to the chase, the only thought that we should ever have is continual gratitude and joy at the abundance that is our life. Because when you stay in that attitude and state of mind of abundance in all things, then by law, we must manifest abundance in all things. So that's my message for today. Oh, I want to tell you a short story that reflects exactly the truth of that. You know, Nancy, we talked last week about the fact that Nancy is really manifesting her value, her financial value in life. And it is so dramatic. You know, her trading platform, she's way over what her original seed money was that she put into her trading thing. She's just winning every day with increasing amounts of money every day. But that's sweet. But the corollary is she's in a football pool here in our community, and we've been doing it for years. And we're only 4 weeks, I think, maybe 5 weeks into the pool, which is about a third of the season, and she's already won back 119% of what the cost of joining the pool was. And she's been winning. She's been first or second place in the pool every week for the last 3 weeks. So, and she's just absolutely living in joy. I mean, it's so much fun to see her understanding the realization and manifestation of her true financial abundance that is her birthright. So, and then, you know, Candace, never hesitate to lead or guide your friends, because Nancy told me a story yesterday that will speak directly to your concern there. And she was complaining about something, you know, 40 years ago to one of her friends, Marcia Golden. And Marcia was, you know, she was, she had an interesting attitude towards life, let's put it that way. So anyway, so in the middle of Nancy talking about something that she perceived as a lack in her life or a concern or a problem, Marcia just stopped. She said, "Stop right there, Nancy." She said, "I won't listen to this another minute, because you have to realize that you, of all people, have probably and arguably the most beautiful, abundant life of anybody that I know." And I mean, I know it started with being married to me, but I mean, that was very nice of her to acknowledge. And Nancy, she said, you know, that was really a wake-up shot across my bow. She says, I stopped short and I looked at what you, and I went, my God, Marcia, you are right. You know, I really don't have anything that I need to worry about. Because I don't have anything I need to worry about, I seem to spend all of my time trying to find something or manufacture something to worry about. Now, none of us do that, I'm sure, but I just thought I'd mention it. Back to you, Monica.
Thank you, Doc Fran. That is so didactic in the sense of we can get it, I can feel it, you know, so strong, beautiful, beautiful. So yes, be aware, you know, like you said, when we want something, you know, check if you are really coming from excitement and abundance and expansion, you know, or you come because you don't have it, and that's our belief. So distinguish between, you know, one way or the other for sure. So I think we are mastering something here. One thing that I want to point out is that last week we discovered on YouTube, you can find what we call the rampage. Is that correct in English?
Yes.
The rampage of, and for whatever reason, about Abraham Hicks, okay? Rampage of, and you have so many choices, and I picked the one of rampage of money. And it's like, well, you have several videos, but let's say one is 10 minutes, the other 20 or something like that. But the rampage is like, you see the language of Abraham Hicks, you know, of Abraham coming, you know, like speaking so exciting and positive and energetically, and I love it, and everything is going good, and the money flows to me, and blah, blah, blah. And I was listening to it, and 10 minutes later or something like that, the joy that I felt in my entire body about, yes, you know. So I recommend to all of you that we are working with this book, check it on YouTube, relax, sit down, and observe the effect, okay, that this quality and river of thoughts, you know, river of thought, the quality of the thoughts and the river, how they empower each other and they keep coming and they keep coming, is so effective in the moment of realizing our frequency, you know, our own vibration here. So something that Anna and I enjoy, you know, every night we push the button, you know, sit down, you know, and woohoo! So we go to bed, you know, with this excitement of, gosh, something that is very empowering and joyful. So I recommend it to all of you. YouTube, you go there. And one of the things that I take with me today, very beautiful now that I'm saying that, is a sense of permission. Like I feel like through the reading of today is like, you know, we have the total permission, absolute permission to want what we want and to have it all, you know, that we want. So that's something that I take in my heart with a lot of pleasure and gratitude. And besides that, we are a little past here, but perfect, you know, that's how deep we go. I just want to say that we finish on page 86, so it's the page that we will start next week. And if you want to be on the panel, just for the ones that you are seeing the recording, or you are on the other side right now and you really want to be here part, because the more you engage, I would say, the more you expose yourself, maybe in the beginning, but the more, you know, you allow yourself to really let go and take in, you know, your own experiences. It's very empowering from my perspective. So remember to email Arne, A-R-N-E, at unlimitednetwork.com, so he can send you the special link to be here on the panel. And besides that, guys, thank you so much for being here. I love this Saturday morning, and I hope or wish a wonderful, prosperous, abundant week for all of you. And we are going to see each other next Saturday. That will be already October 25. So we keep going here. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Mwah.
See ya.
Thank you.